I promise you I'm not messing with you. This has actually happened. About time, I might add. As you can see from the title, below the screen at this point, Sunderland have at long last made their first signing. And I know people might argue Jacob Kearney was their first signing, but I think when because of the way that statement was worded, that he was initially going to be with the under-23s. Initially with the first team, that implies to me that he's going to be an under-23 signing. Nevertheless, though, there you go. Sunderland have signed Alex Pritchard. I've got the statement right in front of me, so I'm going to try not to butcher it, but here goes nothing. So, Sunderland AFC have completed the signing of Alex Pritchard. The 28-year-old has signed a 2-year deal at the Stadium of Light and becomes the club's first new signing ahead of the 21-22 campaign. Pritchard moves to Wearside following a 3.5-year spell at Huddersfield Town, during which he made 44 Premier League appearances. Born in Essex, the attacking midfielder started his professional career with Tottenham Hotspur and made his top-flight debut for the London-based club on the final day of the 13-14 season. Pritchard also enjoyed a batch of highly successful loan spells during his time at White Hart Lane, featuring for Peterborough United, Swindon Town, Brentford and West Bromwich Albion. After being named in the 14-15 PFA Championship Team of the Year following his exploits at Griffin Park, a brief spell at the Hawthorns preceded a permanent move to Norwich City. Pritchard scored 7 goals in 38 Sky Bet Championship appearances for the Canaries before ending an 18-month tenure at Carrow Road and sealing a Premier League return with Huddersfield United in January 2017. Capped 9 times at England under-21 level, Pritchard said, "It's great to be here and it's another good opportunity for me on the football road, so I'm ready to get going. There were other offers out there, but it's crucial for me to be with a head coach that knows me as a player and as a person and has a playing style that suits me. The club speaks for itself. You see the stadium, the training ground, the fans, and I just think this could be a great fit. Let's hope it is." Lee Johnson added, "We are absolutely delighted to bring in a player of Alex's pedigree, because it's not often you get the opportunity to sign a player of this quality in League One. It's our job to wrap around him to make sure he can be the best he can possibly be, but he's made a lot of sacrifices to come to Sunderland, and I think this shows a great desire to play for the fans, for me, and for the club." So, that's the statement. Sunderland have signed Alex Pritchard. Couple of things that I've noticed within that statement. Obviously, look, Lee Johnson said himself, it's our job to wrap around him, basically wrap him in cotton wool. The thing that does concern me a little bit with this signing, and I think it's a very good signing by the way, but the key thing is, can we keep him fit? Because he's had injury problems in his career, but let's be brutally honest here. If he wasn't having those injury problems, we probably wouldn't have been in the picture to sign him. So, but that's what Lee Johnson and the coaching staff, and specifically the medical team, that's what they're there for, to try and make sure that he is going to be as fit as possible. Now, Sunderland and injury-prone players haven't tended to mix the best of results before, but let's see what happens. Hopefully, we can get him playing and fitting. And one of the other points that he did make, he made a lot of sacrifices to come to Sunderland. Now, regardless of the fact we're in League One, we're still one of the biggest clubs in the country, in my opinion. I know people think that's delusional, but I personally don't think it is. I think you look at the Category 1 academy, the stadium size, the fan base, facilities, the history of the club. You know, just because we're in League One doesn't mean that can all be ignored. But I'm hoping on paper, this should be a massive signing. But it's always on paper. You've got to go out and deliver it. Now, I want this to start to be the spiral where more signings come through. But let me know what you think. Are you happy with Alex Pritchard's signing? Remember to like, comment and subscribe, please. It would be much appreciated. I will very quickly have my say on the Charlie Wyke thing, because I wanted to let it die down a little bit. Obviously, earlier in the week, Charlie Wyke signed a 3-year deal at Wigan Athletic, and he's reportedly, or allegedly, on £10,000 a week. And I know that SCFC, David and Thane in particular, have said that they're baffled why Sunderland fans are happy or content or not losing as much sleep, of which I am one of them, over losing Charlie Wyke. And I do get that argument. I do get that he has scored 31 goals. You can't ignore that. You absolutely cannot ignore that, and I'm not belittling it. My argument is why some fans aren't fussed about losing Charlie Wyke. One, the season Charlie Wyke had last year completely came out of nowhere. Hardly anyone was expecting him. I know he's had it, but that doesn't mean the points are relevant. He was not expected to have the season that he had. Secondly, while he did well, most of his goals were one-touch finishes. Well, not most, actually, to be fair. David is right, to be fair. There are some good goals in there. But I would say about a good 2/3 of his goals are literally cross, header, cross, first-time finish. The service to him was literally on point. Yes, no striker doesn't score without service, but it doesn't mean the points are relevant again. It doesn't mean that Charlie Wyke should be exceptional because he scored with service that any striker would do. By that, you could argue by that logic then, Greek hasn't had the services Charlie Wyke has. But there you go. I just think for me, when teams figured out what we wanted to do, which was basically get the ball to McGeady, get the ball out wide, cross the ball into the box, head it. While it worked, there was a purple patch for a couple of months where it really worked. But once teams figured that out, we started to become stale. We started to become predictable. We started to become one-dimensional. And that's not Charlie Wyke's fault, by the way. It's not his fault that we haven't got backup plans or prepared better, because that's our fault. We should have done, absolutely. However, it doesn't change the fact that we were predictable. And I would have liked to keep Wyke, make no mistake. I would have liked to keep Wyke. But I do think that if you sign someone like Joe Pigott, I think he's probably of the same calibre as Wyke. Bearing in mind, he scored around 20 goals for a Wimbledon team that has just avoided staying up over the last couple of seasons. I don't know what the goal stats are specifically, but there you go. I'm just trying to paint a picture of why fans, I think, are a bit justified in saying that we're not as concerned about losing Wyke. And even if we don't replace him, that doesn't automatically mean letting Wyke go was the wrong decision. And bear in mind, if it's £10,000 a week he was after, for me, I wouldn't pay that. I wouldn't be. Akey is more than capable of. If we can get the Charlie Wyke from last season, they're going to get someone who gets a pack full of goals. But for me, I think it was the right call. I think it was the right call not to offer him 10k. I think for 10k you could get at least a striker on his level in terms of finishing. Even if it doesn't score 30 odd goals or 25 league goals, I think we could get a striker who scores 15 and 20 goals on about half of those wages, personally. But you never know. I might be wrong. I've been wrong before. Anyway, I'll love you leave you there, guys. Let me know what you think about the Charlie Wyke thing. Let me know what you think about Alex Pritchard. And hopefully, this is the first of a flurry of signings through the door at Sunderland. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you guys on Sunday for the Euro 2020 final. Italy v England. Come on, the boys.